Well, we're on this tour and we're going around to this. It's supposed to be like an old children's home orphanage thing. And apparently, the lady that owned it would kill kids and bury them. And nobody ever knew it because nobody really come and checked in on things. Well, while we were there and the lady was talking about this woman that owned this orphanage, some people were videotaping and they were like, "Oh, do you see these flying across the yard?" Like they were getting footage of something flying across the yard. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's just the kids playing ball out here." It's like, what? Well, I didn't think nothing of it. And I just kind of got a weird vibe. We went through the graveyards and all that stuff that's supposed to be really haunted. Well, I got back to the little Airbnb thing we were staying at. I'm looking through my pictures, and there's a picture of the orphanage house with the lady sitting there talking about all of her stuff, and the windows and all that look normal. Well, then I went to another picture, and I noticed something in one of the lower windows, and of course it was almost dusk, so my camera is not 100% like it's kind of sketchy. But if you zoomed in on that window, you could see like the figures in the face of a man and the woman is in a white looking apron, and it is scary as shit. I actually sent him the pictures of the window to see if he could see these little ghostly figures in there. But I was like,
I
holy
can
shit, that was
confirm,
really happening,
yes.
and we were really there.
I can confirm. I saw the pictures, and it's kind of creepy looking. I'm not going to lie. I'll put them up when this goes up. Like
Yeah, I was
everyone
like,
can see it. Anthony, we didn't hear a
but
word you
yeah,
said.
so
I would have lost my.
my oldest daughter is into collecting rocks, and this she brought home a rock, and I said, I swear to God, if you bring home a demon in that rock, your ass is in trouble.
Amber's here.
I think Amber might just be in the audience,
Yes, I
so.
think she is in the audience. That's. I'm not gonna lie. That's. Anytime you actually have proof or looking at it, I think that those type of ghost stories freak me the fuck out most because that means there's something there, and it's just a confirmation from the story itself. That's what freaks me the fuck out.
It is
So
scary.
I would have probably left. In fact, I'm actually trying to plan a trip to Gettysburg, because I do want to take some sensitive people to Gettysburg and record them. So I'm very interested in seeing what they see. So let's go on to the next. Ashley, Jay, you guys want to tell ghost stories?
I can go next. Uh, I can go next, but it depends on the story. Do you want a story from the U.S. or do you want a story from Mexico?
Ooh, Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Oh, next
All
to
right, cool.
got some La Lorna going on in
Okay, so, madam, this all happened in a time span of 12 hours. Um,
They were
so my
all.
family's from, oh, girl. So my family's from Mexico. I am second generation U.S. born. Um, so yeah, my entire family's from Mexico. And so we visit a lot. And when I was 16, 17 years old, um, my my aunt had just done a whole remodel on her house. Now, mind you, that house was um that was a custom built house. Like when her dad had that house built, like it was built to his wife's liking. Like she designed it and they built it exactly the way she wanted it. Um, but my grandma used to tell me all the time that that area, um, the rich had used it as a dumping ground because back when back when the hometown was, or like my family's hometown was founded, it was literally maybe like 20 families, and then a whole bunch of U.S. companies started putting factories around the area, and then we had like the coal mine that's like right on the outskirts of town. So the area where the house was built was just basically a dumping ground, and the teachers took it over, and that became like the teachers neighborhood. Um, so since I was little, like that house always gave me weird vibes, especially the upstairs. And I always used to pass it off as the fact that my aunt had like this giant ceiling to floor crucifix with like a life size Jesus hanging off of it. So
Oh,
yeah,
damn, they were
yeah.
scared.
You know, now that I'm an adult, I realize that it was probably that big for a reason. Um,
Yeah, no
so
demons
I
were moving.
remember, right? So 16, 17 years old, they had done the remodel on the house, but that room where the crucifix was hadn't yet been converted, so they were kind of using it as a guest space. In that room, it used to be my uncle's like private pool hall. So they had just sectioned off the pool hall and closed one room off, and so the rest was just kind of open, and that crucifix was still hanging there. And so I remember falling asleep and thinking to myself, God, I hate sleeping here because that stupid crucifix is just looking at me, that Jesus is looking at me. So I wake up in the middle of the night, probably about like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I look up and the giant ass crucifix is now upside down.
Nope. Nope.
No, I'm out. They
I'm
went
out.
crazy.
Go to church.
The giant ass crucifix is upside down, and that wasn't the scarier part of it. The scarier part was that you could see. So, say for example, it's the size of like it's from there to there, floor to there, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bloody handprint smear, just kind of like it
Oh,
looked
no.
like where it was turning it
Anthony's a
around.
fucking heathen, I swear to God.
I'm not even
And
paying attention to him. My goddess.
I was like, I didn't know what to. I was too scared to move. I was like, I'm too scared to give my back to this thing, but I'm also too scared to look at it. Like, what do I
No,
do?
that's fucking
And
terrifying.
I'm sitting there going, no, for real. I'm sitting there going, please somebody wake up. Please somebody make a noise. Please something. And I'm sitting there saying, please somebody make a noise. And because that room used to be my uncle's private pool hall, it had an outdoor exit. And all I hear is that it was a giant metal garage type door. And all I hear is that mofo slam.
Nope.
Nope.
When I tell you,
become an Olympic star.
well, no, when I tell you that door was
Star.
heavy, they had to use rope on both sides of the door to be able to move it, to close and open.
My fat ass
Ow.
would have ran so goddamn quickly.
And
He's
so,
a track star.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
No. And so then I felt somebody like sitting on the edge of my bed, and I was like,
Yeah.
nope, nope. And so I look over and like I'm laying like flat on my back, and I look over to the next bed, and I'm looking at my mom, and she's sound asleep, and so I'm like, Mom,
Wake the fuck up.
Mom, right? So I'm like, Mom, and she's like, what do you want? Like I heard her audibly respond, what do you want? And I'm like, Mom, the crucifix is hanging upside down, and then I just hear laughing. And it was my mom's voice. I heard laughing, and it was my mom's
no,
voice.
man. I'm out.
That's
And so then all of
interesting.
all of a sudden, all the lights turn on, and the crucifix is still hanging upside down, but that handprint is no longer there, and my mom is still sound asleep. Like she, to this day, does not believe that happened. So once the lights go on, I jump up and I start shaking my mom awake, and I'm like, you need to wake up. We need to get out of here. So she finally wakes up, and she's like, what are you talking? What is wrong with you? And so I'm like, the crucifix is hanging upside down. She looks, and the crucifix is in fact still hanging upside down, but she also looks up, and she's like, it just fell off with a nail, you weirdo. Just pull the rest of it down and lay it down on the floor and go back to sleep. And I was like, no ma'am, I am not touching that. Absolutely
I
not.
wouldn't either.
Go about the rest.
Logic.
The way I would have
Right?
been like driving to the like biggest resort in Mexico and been like, I'm out.
I wish there was. So this was before the hotel in our hometown was built. There's only one hotel, and it's the luxury hotel. So, there was literally no place else for us to stay.
I would have sucked dick to get in that luxury hotel that night. I don't care what I would have to do.
I would be staying in the car. I'm okay back here.
All right, well,
Ma'am, I didn't feel safe in the house. What makes you think I would have felt safe in the car? The cartels are outside, lady.
Yeah, you gotta
I would take the cartel over a fucking ghost any day.
I wouldn't. Well, yeah, I guess you could seduce the cartel. Actually, I mean, I don't know if you can seduce a demon.
okay,
I
the
tried.
answer is not always to suck
I
dick.
believe
My
you.
God. But hello, Amber. Welcome.
I mean,
It is.
if it gets you out of something, yeah, it is.